Welcome to Ask Cadence, everybody. Thank you for downloading. My name is Pete Wright. I'm sitting here with John Patton. John, hello.
Hello, Pete.
It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
We're going to talk about certifications today. Mm-hmm. One in particular. I think, our audience in particular, folks know about the PMP, the Project Management Professional, and we've talked a number of times about the importance of certification, particularly in the context of developing standards and being able to apply standards. But you have a take on a relatively new certification at PMI, the CAPM, that I think is interesting and worth jawing about a little bit. What is the CAPM?
Sometimes called the CAPM.
The CAPM. Well,
yeah, the CAPM.
I don't know if that's
CAPM.
Doing it any favors.
I don't know if it is.
It might be better than PIMP.
I think Pete, maybe we better standardize on CAPM.
CAPM was probably better.
The letters would be good here.
All right.
Well, there are 370,000 people holding credentials with PMI, and around over 300,000 of those are the PMP, the famous one that got started first. There are about 100 PGMPs or more, maybe 150 now.
It's the program management.
Yeah, it's the program management professional certification, and then there's a little bit in risk and scheduling. But then there's this one called the Certified Associate in Project Management. And there are about 30, maybe now approaching 40,000 people with that certification. And as it was initiated, it was thought that it would not be a final certification, or what you'd call a terminal certification, that you would seek that and stop only with the CAPM, that this was appropriate for people on a career path to get their PMP, and that they would end up managing some projects and getting their minimum hours put together, and then they could sit for the PMP.
Seems to make a lot of sense. It acts as a milestone.
Well, it does, initially. Uh-huh. Then you start thinking that, let's say that the average project team, if we'd said a medium-sized project team, is 7 or 8 people plus a project manager. Large project, may have 30, 40 people working on the team and a project manager. Well, where are all these people coming from that work on the team with the project manager? They're people in professions. They're mechanical engineers. They're systems analysts. They are programmer analysts. They are electrical engineers. They're marketing specialists. And these are people who will work on a project team, and they need knowledge of project management vocabulary, processes, standards, and if you talk about people having common language and common expectations, I'd rather work with a team of people who had their CAPM any day. I'm swimming uphill a whole lot less if I'm a PMP and I'm using standard terminology.
Okay, so if I catch your assertion here, you're saying that particularly on a large project, your project manager is going to be working with 30 to 40 people who aren't native project people. That's
correct.
And that the CAPM...
They've worked on projects before, too.
Sure. But what the CAPM does is provide another level of structure to the project management organization for large projects that may help smooth out the result.
It provides knowledge. It provides knowledge. See, if people are not knowledgeable about project management, they spend a lot of their time trying to avoid the process of project management. So they don't want to come to status meetings. They don't want to estimate the duration of their tasks. All those things create fear. I go to a status meeting, I'm going to be called on the carpet, or I'm going to be bored. Mm-hmm. If I make an estimate, I may miss that estimate.
Okay. How do I make these 2 points jive? Are we adding a level of middle management to a project management effort? Or are we talking about adding a new level of structure? I guess what I'm asking is, how can you paint a picture of how an ideal project runs with the addition of CAPMs on the team?
What we, Peter, essentially is more knowledgeable practitioners. So I'm not saying that the project manager is going to have a CAPM assisting,
Okay.
but the project manager's job is facilitated when there's a mechanical engineer who has his CAPM certification.
Okay.
So what I'm saying to
that makes
mechanical engineers and IT specialists who want to stay in their profession, who do not want to be project managers, to prove their value to the organization or show that they have increased their value, get the CAPM. It's a 3-hour test. It has 150 questions, and I can't remember what percentage you have to get right, but it shows your knowledge of the vocabulary and the processes of project management. And so there's a base of learning that these folks have. So now they know mechanical engineering, and they know this side of project management, and can have an interchange, an exchange, a dialogue with the project manager, and they'll know what the project manager is talking about and why the project manager is asking certain questions.
I think I understand now why you call this the greatest undervalued certification in the stable at PMI.
Unknown, undervalued. I think it has huge value to those professionals who want to show that they have project management knowledge and capability in terms of being very good team members and are going to stay in their profession.
Do you see any organizations who are jumping on board this way and encouraging the CAPM?
No. The fact that, of all these millions of practitioners of the world, there are only 33,000. Yeah, it says to me that there are some people who are interested in getting that on the way to getting more experience and becoming a PMP. I'm not aware at this point in time of any large corporations asking for a CAPM as a professional credential for somebody who spends more than 50% of their time working on projects and is not a project manager. But I'm always trying to think ahead and be on the edge of thought in project management, and I would ask people to, and including PMI, to reevaluate the CAPM, because I think it can bring a great deal of help to project managers.
And it's a great new strategic point for people whose careers include project management, but not exclusively so.
Yes.
That's some great insight, John. Thank you so much for sharing today, and thank you for joining us, everyone who's downloaded, and we'll be with you next week. Once again,